Greenlaw, Ward, Hafunga, a guard, Aaron Banks, offensive tackle Jalen Moore, running
Oh,
back
more
Elijah
undrafted.
Mitchell, and
Oh,
Josh Dobbs. Gone. But they did sign a tight end. They signed Luke Farrell. They signed the safety Richie Grant, and they signed the linebacker Luke Gifford. They may have signed somebody else while this show was still going on. I haven't been able to check my phone yet. But Dave is also not in the comments saying they signed something. But coach, all I'm gonna say is coach, 49ers. What's going on over there, man?
you tell me. Nah, let me tell you
I'm
what happened.
happy. I mean, you ain't gotta tell me
Let me
shit.
tell you
I'm
what happened.
happy.
Let me tell you what happened. They had a plan together when Brian Salzer was there. They put together one of the best defenses. They had what 7, 8 first-round draft picks. They built that defense. Where the money ran out. Period. The money ran out. They not one of them can get paid. Not a single person. Um, I'm not sure if it's age or anything else outside of that, but the fact that they could only retain a certain amount is just they did not have the money to sign all of those players. They had a time frame to win a championship with when they built that defense that way. That this is where it starts. We ain't got much time. They got what a 3-4 year window, and then they ended up getting Purdy and extended it. I think by another year or two, and nothing. Sorry, nothing. They've gone through the same thing they go through every year: a depletion of defensive players who get hurt, a depletion of running backs that get hurt, and a depletion of receivers that get hurt. I've literally. They still have C-Mac. Okay, let's see how far they get with him this year. I've come to the point, and I've said it a few times, but now I have to stand my ground on it. I don't use that phrase "stand on business." I'm about my business. I'm old school. Um, it's the coach. I don't know if it's his scheme. I don't know if it's his way of coaching, but it's just not working anymore. Me and Dave have had this conversation quite a few. That's why I said I've talked about this, but not out like me and Dave me and him have, and we've come to agreeances. Like Coach Shanahan has overstayed his welcome. I'm sorry. I think the culture that he built there, it just didn't work. It just didn't work. So what you're trying to do right now, you ain't got no money to sign all these players, so you have to let them go. You don't have a choice. So what you're gonna have to do now is you're gonna have to go out there cheap and find stragglers that you can bring on that have some viability to them for at least another year or two, because now you got to save your job. So your job is on the line, pimp. Like, would you think you're gonna go 6-10 or 6-11, and you think they're gonna have good things to say about you this year? You've been in the playoffs for the last 3 years, and now you about to fall on your face worse than last year. You had like you money can only go but so far in the NFL. You have to be careful what you do and who you pay. It's just the nature of the game. And again, you guys did the right thing. You built a defense. Your quarterback just didn't work out with Trey Lance. And then the Garoppolo thing didn't work out. And then you got Purdy, but he's young, and there's so many other things, so many injuries. It didn't work. And if you keep Kyle Shanahan, they're going to keep him this year, obviously, maybe even next year. If this continues, they're not going to get better. Because I think people need to remember one thing. He is not the only person that sat here and built this team when they were on top. There were other people involved and are no longer there. So now this is all on Shanahan. And look at it. Look at it. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. He might be able to make a call here and there on the field and get these guys down the field. But, bro, his off-season decisions and moves, his in-season coaching, it's not good. Like, I don't know what it is, but if I'm not mistaken, wasn't he with Washington before?
Yep.
And if I'm not mistaken, I hate that I got to go back so far. If I'm not mistaken, ain't this the same situation that was happening in Washington? Everybody was always hurt. It's the style of the way they coach these players. A lot of people have gone away from the hard-nosed nature way football used to be played. Shanahan still literally coaches that way. Like that's why players got hurt back then so much. When you have coaches that still use those methods, this is why so many players get hurt. Look at Dan Campbell. That's another perfect example from the old nature of hard-nosed football. And look at his team. They cannot last the season. They get depleted injury-wise every single year. And then here we are. Like literally every single season in the regular season, his numbers just climb and wins, right? And then he gets to the playoffs in the same position. Bye. You don't have anything. You all your players are out. Like you're all injured. If they don't change, I'm talking to circles. This is one of those things like you have to change with the times. And that's why so many other coaches have been so much more successful. Not all of them, but some have been more successful who have moved away from the way football used to be. But those coaches that still sit there, what do they have? They have strong teams. They can make it happen each and every year, but they're not really winning anything because they're not winning the Super Bowl. They're not winning the Super Bowl doing that. All the ones that are winning Super Bowls outside of the Chiefs, and obviously Andy Reid knows how to change with the times because the old way Andy Reid used to coach, who used to always get hurt? Running backs. The new way Andy Reid coaches, who doesn't get hurt? Running backs. You got to change with the times. It's like your method of what you used to do. If those methods have to change. And if you can't change them, that's how you get fired.
That's good.
So the 49ers right now are on the verge of being a 6-win team. And Kyle might be losing his job within the next couple of years.
Go ahead, Joe, before you go.
All right, let me read the super chat. Oh, gosh, I am on the hot seat. Let's get it. Shout out to my boy T Merck, my boy Teddy, Mr. BWT himself, member for 18 months. R2L member is. Shout out to the best network out there. Prayer hands, hashtag BWT, baseball with Teddy. He will be live tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. So make sure y'all tune in to that. And he also got a $9.99 super chat from BWT himself. Again, love the direction the Patriots are headed one day into free agency. Hashtag the rebuild.
They went all defense. I loved it.
We're going to get into them too. But right now, the 49ers. I ain't mad at what they did so far. I'm not. Think about it. Cole said it right. It's a money situation. The Trey Lance trade put them back a lot. They gave up a lot of early draft picks to get Trey Lance. That set them back. Then they pay all these guys. They pay Christian McCaffrey. They pay Trent Williams. They pay Deebo Samuel. They pay Fred Warner. They pay Nick Bosa. They pay Brandon Ayuk. So, they had it. Now Hufanga is up next. You got Hufanga, Greenlaw, you got, Ward. All these guys up next to get paid. So what do? They just let them walk. They release what's his name?
You said
no, the DM.
Leonard Floyd.
Leonard Floyd. They released Leonard Floyd. And right now, they have $32 million in cap space. 32. But next year, as of right now, $115 million.
Really?
Yes. The cap space right as of next year, right now. Obviously, they might do some more moves.
Because they don't really have nobody to pay now.
They still got to sign their draft picks, all that stuff. But like,
yeah, maybe jumping down like 109, 108, 108.
That's minor. But $115 million they have in cap space right now, right? So they still got to pay Purdy. That's a big thing. Kind of like we talked about with Michael Parsons, right? They got to pay Micah. So they if they're going to keep Purdy, they got to have enough money for that. They already offered him $45 million, which people thought was a slap in the face. If I'm Purdy, I'm like, I see Dak was 60. I need 62.
I ain't gonna lie. Look at what shouldn't been MVP got. That's what I was
my boy.
My number was better than him.
My boy.
Oh, y'all didn't think that was coming?
I might have to stand up.
And
My
then
boy.
if I'm the 49ers, I'll be like, oh, really? How about we look at the MVP numbers and look at your numbers last year, Purdy? Oh, okay. A lot of interceptions in the fourth quarter that cost us games. Okay, never mind. But anyways, sorry, Dave, I had to do that. Sorry. But I like what they did. And then the draft picks. They got 11 draft picks this year. They got awarded 4 by the NFL today, right? Cowboys got 4 also awarded to them. And they got 10 next year. So what they didn't lose a lot of pieces on the offensive end. They only lost Debo. They still got everybody on the offensive side of the ball, right? They said then they still do. Who?
I mean, you got Parcel, you got Ayuk when he comes
I said
back.
for
you
now.
got CMC,
For now,
you
yeah,
got
they still
Kittle.
got that. They look like the Eagles. The Eagles losing all their defensive players, not all of them, a lot of defensive players. So are the 49ers, all right? But one thing they both have, good D coordinators. But the Eagles got young players. They still got guys over there. The 49ers, they got Nick Bosa. They talking about bringing over Joey Bosa, which I get it. You want a brother reunion, but you already have an injury-riddled team, and you bringing over an injury-riddled guy. Joey Bosa always hurt. So I'm not too mad at what they're doing. I got to see how they handle the draft because their offense will still be intact, and they got Robert Saleh now over there.
So speaking of Michael Parsons, right? And speaking of Michael Parsons being on Twitter, I don't know if y'all seen this, but so Clarence Hill from the Cowboys, he had posted on X. He was like, 49ers gut themselves. And then Michael Parsons retweeted and said, no more rookie QB, LOL. Welcome to reality. So basically he's saying, I told y'all when it's time to pay them quarterbacks, it ain't no more fun when the rabbit got the gun. I was like, that's the one thing I like about Michael. When he tweet a lot, but he do tweet some things that make you be like, at least he's talking about the opponents as well. That's a lot for a team, man. We sat up here and I was like, man, we could talk about that on Tuesday. And it's kind of like I said with Blaze, it kind of brought it up and it's right there. I think the window might be closed because that's a lot to lose. And then look at your opponents. The Rams got better. I'm not saying the Seahawks got better because we see what they did, but again, everybody around you was getting better. And one thing I can say being a Cowboy fan and to 49er Nation is like, y'all kept laughing at us. We saved you a spot on the couch. We seen this movie before. This is a rerun. So go ahead. But I want to say one more thing though. Shout out to you, Coach, man. FJA. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Just it's coming. The show not over yet.
Oh my goodness, Kev, you got 5 minutes or something? You got 5 minutes? You know, so Hurts got paid. Yeah. Hurts got a rookie. He got a good deal. That was a steal for what they doing now. Imagine if Hurts never got paid and then won the Super Bowl. You wouldn't be putting that in that comments. Hurts be like, I need 70. And I ain't taking no less.
Hurts got paid 2 years ago too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, market going up constantly.
So you can't. It's not. The two are not the same.
I don't know. I mean, Howie does it good. He paid Hurts and he paid both his receivers before their contracts were up. Smart man. Howie does a good job.
So that's the difference.
He paid Hurts before
his GM knows how to do
your boy.
Job.
Your boy wait for the contract is actually up to pay dudes. That's a difference.
He waits till you got a franchise tag him and say, so you want less than the franchise tag? No, if I'm making 26, why would I want 24? I need more than a 26.
I don't get why people don't pay early. Now, I get it with
Dak. I don't get that. That's what they're for.
Dak is smart. They probably offered Dak an extension,
They did.
but okay, so Dak is in the seat right now where there's no other options for real. So Dak had a reason to like push it to the side. Hurts didn't though. You know, Hurts, he had his one good year, and they went to Hurts like, "Yo, we gonna pay you now." Hurts could have put it,
which was smart, which was very, very smart. You made it all the way to the Super Bowl with this team. We can pay you now, and watch we can still make more moves.
Exactly, we're gonna pay you now. We'll get your bread. But Dak,
he wasn't even the highest paid. He was just highest paid at that moment because everybody else got paid after him.
I'm not faulting Dak because Dak making moves. Like he I remember the first extension. He was like, Jerry trying to get like 5 years. He was like, nah, we doing 4.
And we're gonna run it back.
We're gonna run it back. Because the market's going up. You think you're going to hold me for 5 years when this? No, you're gonna do 4.
And with him, they was trying to pay him right around the time I think Wentz they got paid. And I think that was around that time. And Dak was like, nah, I think I can get a little bit more out of this. So
Mhm.
his negotiation tactic is there. Now, if I'm with you on CD, Micah, everybody else is like get to the table early because they did it with Trayvon. But Carl said it in the comments. Cowboys, Bengals, they all just be in the same little ballpark when it's time to play people.